people started a 23-hour journey from Atlanta, Georgia to Cambodia with only a few common goals between them. We were ready to learn, we were ready to work, and we were ready to grow as individuals. We started as strangers, but quickly became friends. Our first few days were spent getting acclimated to the country we would call home for the next 3 weeks. We toured Phnom Penh, the capital and largest city in Cambodia. We learned about their government, culture, and their not-so-distant tragic history. A period of loss and struggle that touched the life of each and every Cambodian citizen. We tried new foods and explored the streets, where we quickly learned that when it comes to traffic, the rules are, there are no rules. From there, we boarded our giant pink bus and made our way to what would be our home base in the city of Kampot. In churches around the city, we set up clinics in 3 locations to treat all those that we could and did our best to get help for those that we couldn't. Working as a team, we prepared for the trials and experiences that lay ahead of us. Experiences that we'll never forget. For hours, we separated supplies and counted pills, a task that could not have been completed without the help of the generous staff of the natural bungalows.
Most of our days began at 6 a.m., or whenever the rooster living outside of our windows crowed and forced us to wake up earlier. We ate breakfast, loaded our bus with the supplies for the day, and were on our way. After a bumpy ride, we arrived at the church that opened its doors to our mission. At each clinic, we were greeted with many locals, patiently awaiting our arrival. We unloaded the bus and set up for clinic.
Here we go, smile!
Before opening our doors to serve the people, the team gathered together daily for a moment of silence to pray or meditate on that day's mission. We were reminded of our mission to touch our patients, to listen to them, look them in the eye, and convey the message of compassion. Our clinics consisted of 4 stations: intake, vitals, patient care, and pharmacy. Patients arrived by foot, on bicycles, and riding motorbikes. Some people even devised a creative means of transportation to reach our team every morning. After getting to us, they waited in a holding area underneath a tent outside. During intake, an interpreter and a student would record the patient's name, age, chief complaints, and medical history. After intake, the patient moved to vitals, where a student would gather their blood pressure, temperature, pulse, and respirations before escorting them inside the church where the clinicians were located. Each patient care station consisted of a medical student, an interpreter, and another member of the interdisciplinary team. Together, the team would compose a client diagnosis and prescribe appropriate medications. All stations were supervised by the medical faculty, and they provided help when needed. After our patients were given their prescriptions, they moved to the pharmacy where they received their medications, a toothbrush, and some toothpaste, and they were given medical counseling. Some patients even received glasses before they left. After their clinic visit, many of the churches offered prayer for the patient. Our service did not stop with our clinic sites. We even extended our care and made house visits when necessary.
That last day of clinic was bittersweet. There were so many more patients to reach out to, and we were going to miss our family at Natural Bungalows. But we continued on our journey through Cambodia. Saturday morning, we headed back to Phnom Penh. We did some last-minute shopping in the steaming markets for our loved ones, and then jumped on a plane to Siem Reap. This was the first time most of us walked on a tarmac. We survived the 45-minute flight, landing in the afternoon. Monday morning brought temple time. We enjoyed our tuk-tuk brigade to Angkor Thom and to Prom in the morning. The afternoon was booked for Angkor Wat. We saw some of the most beautiful buildings from over 1,000 years old. The trees overgrowing to Prom were truly an outstanding sight to see. The detail on the walls in the temples and the history accompanying them is awe-inspiring. There is no way to capture these beautiful places in words or picture, but we sure did try. We climbed the temples, admired the craftsmanship, and tried to understand as much as we possibly could of the ancient temples of the Khmer. In the evenings, we had free time to explore the city, have some of our last Khmer food, and most importantly, get our fish pedicures. At first we screamed and squirmed, then we became accustomed to the odd sensation. Tuesday, we had the option of at sunrise at Angkor Wat and visiting more of Angkor Thom to see more temples, such as Elephant Terrace. We had the afternoon free to soak in as much of Cambodia as we could before flying out to Seoul that evening. Again, it was a bittersweet moment. We were so sad to be leaving this country that has quickly found its way into our hearts, but we were ready to be home and see our family and friends. The flight to Seoul was about 6 hours, with a 4-hour layover, before heading back to Atlanta on the Great Korean Air. The 14-hour flight was a beautiful one, never seeing a sunset fall to night before sunrise. We laughed, we cried, smiled, and bonded in this country that will forever be in our thoughts. Hopefully a difference was made here in Cambodia, whether it be for the interpreters, the patients, or the churches we had clinics at. However, we can say for sure that we have changed as future practitioners in how we will approach our careers, because we have changed in our hearts from this experience, and we are forever grateful.